Hello, my name is Henry Duchesne, and I'm here with you on another episode of Topics of Interest. Today we'll be discussing Bernie Sanders' so-called grassroots movement and the Fox News coverage of the Michael Cohen testimonies. We'll just dive right into it. So the article that I'm going to be analyzing when I talk about Bernie's grassroots movement, which is funny, you'll see that here in a second, is... It's an article on ABC News. You can go look it up. It's on their front page. That's why it caught my eye. That's how I do topics of interest. For those of you that don't know, I just go through and I look at the top news, kind of mainstream media. I go to ABC, CBS, CNN, BBC, and Fox. So, that's how I do topics of interest. Anyway, the article is entitled "Bernie Sanders Kicks Off 2020 Campaign Promising Unprecedented Grassroots Coalition." Okay, this is hilarious. For those of you that know absolutely nothing about Bernie Sanders, I'll fill you in. He is a self-proclaimed socialist, and what that means for, again, those of you that don't know anything, is that he is in favor of large government in control. He's in favor of what he calls the people. What he really means is a representative of the people, or that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks of it as, a representative. In reality, it's a politician. So let's move into this. Bernie Sanders is the opposite of grassroots, because the only way to be grassroots is to sit there and try to pander to the small little people. Okay? Pander to everyone. Not just, a certain type of person, not just, okay? Not the higher ups. Bernie Sanders is the opposite of that, because he might be pandering to them, or at least trying to, and saying that he wants to get them free stuff. But in reality, all of his policies stem from the fact that we need a bigger government that watches over you and controls what you do. If that's grassroots, then I am misunderstanding grassroots, because more power in the hands of an overarching force is way worse than the billionaires he claims to want to get out. It's way worse than a corporation if you have a giant, all-powerful government that can control whatever you do and how much money it takes from you at a whim. Okay? That's not grassroots. That's totalitarian. So, when he says an unprecedented grassroots movement, what he's really talking about is just a large government force that he likes to call the people. It's not actually the people. Because if it was the people, then you would be taking power out of the government. That's the opposite of what he wants. So when he says grassroots movement, this is the beginning of his campaign, where he likes to kind of flip everything that he says and try to make it about the people, when in reality it's about the government and elected officials. Okay, so that's my first problem, is that ABC immediately, with the title of this, is, they're saying what he says. So I'm not going to blame ABC. I like ABC. So I'm not going to blame ABC for this title. I'm going to attack Bernie, because really this is so untrue of what he actually believes and what he stands for. Because he, again, grassroots, you don't take the power away from the people. Okay, anyway, so moving on to the actual rally, we're going to take a look at that. I have a quote here, and I want you to tell me which one I'm about to read is the one by Vladimir Lenin and the one that's by a Bernie supporter. Okay. "We need a revolution of working people to take power back from the financial oligarchy that is running this country." Okay? Now here's another one. "Under socialism, all will govern in turn and will soon become accustomed to no one governing." Okay? So, please go ahead and tell me which one is a Bernie supporter and which one's Vladimir Lenin. Because when I saw this quote, because this was a big quote on ABC, this is from their news site, it's hilarious. Like, literally, they're trotting this out, and I really enjoy it because this turns off so many people. But they're parading this. This is the forerunner. This is the front. This is his face in the news. Okay, so this is kind of the ideology that Bernie Sanders' grassroots movement is moving into. So now we're going to go to my favorite part of the entire speech that he gives, for those of you that haven't watched it. So in this speech, he goes on about how, he's going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then he says, very specifically, calls out Trump on literally everything. So he calls Trump a racist. He says he's going to divide us based on where we were born, based on gender, based on religion, and based on sexual orientation. Now, I find this hilarious because, for one, he does this in the course of like 3 or 4 sentences. So, like, literally he just sits there just going through the list of whatever Trump's been accused of. And then I find it hilarious because his immediate follow-up is he says, we will do the opposite of that. Bernie Sanders' whole platform has been on dividing America, okay? Trump might run on stuff that you disagree with, but he doesn't run on the basis of, oh, we need to take things away from this particular group of people and give it to this one. We need to separate America. We need to da-da-da-da-da. We need to have radical government come in and take every building apart and put it back together, like with the Green New Deal that he supports. And it's hilarious because, again, when he says he's going to unify America, he doesn't mean it. Okay, his number one phrase, whenever you say the top 1%, everyone knows who you're talking about because Bernie's platform he's run on the idea that he's going to divide America and break up economic lines. Okay? Oh, you're the guy that invented the smartphone? I'll take that. You're the guy that, invented this new type of car that everyone wants. It's super fuel efficient. I'll take half of your stuff. So legitimately, he's not going to unify America. He's going to break it up along different lines than what he sees Donald Trump, breaking it up against it. Seriously, it's hilarious because you can't pick and choose, you can't pick and choose what you're going to divide America on and then sit there and say, well, this other guy is going to divide America, but I'm going to unify it. You're not going to unify it. You're not going to unify it. You're going to tear it apart. You're going to physically tear it apart because you're going to go through and decide who gets to keep their stuff and who doesn't, okay? If Donald Trump says some mean stuff and in his policy says, no, you can keep all of it. You can keep all your stuff. I'm not going to take it. He's the one unifying, Bernie. Seriously, it's disgusting. Okay, so that's, that's what I'm going to say about Bernie Sanders because now that he's announced his 2020 campaign, honestly, unless he dies, we're going to be seeing it. We're going to be hearing from him every other week, and he's going to be in a lot of these topics of interest. So I'm not going to. I disagree with Bernie Sanders, and you'll hear more about him in the future. I can promise you that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the last segment. That's a little bit of a, throw out to something I've said before. So, okay. Just to preface this statement, I've talked a lot about my opinion of the mainstream media, okay? I have 7 videos out right now when I'm making this video, and in 2 of them, I very specifically called out and analyzed CNN articles. No, I scratched it. I have 3. Okay, so the first one is my coverage of the Aurora, Illinois shooting. My second one would be Jussie Smollett, what has he taught us? And my third one will be the first topic of interest, but that one was more of a goof because I just thought it was funny that the outlandish quotes would actually be backed up by easily found statistics. Okay? So I don't have any love of the media. And I've even said in those videos I don't like Fox News, but I've never actually shown it. Here is for those of you that don't believe me, I'm about to show it. So Fox News, on Thursday, I went through and I was checking the news sites to find ideas for this video, and I went on to Fox News and I noticed, again, this is Thursday, okay? On Thursday, one of the biggest news story on the headline of every other major news site, Michael Cohen's testimony. I couldn't find it on Fox's homepage, on their front page of their app. On the phone, I searched. I couldn't find any part of it on Thursday. Okay? It's report on it, okay? And I know if you look it up, you can find articles. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying put it front and center because Michael Cohen, very specifically, is a great example of how the left doesn't care what someone has done as long as they're supporting a point. Michael Cohen, for those of you that don't know, lied under oath. He's going to jail for it. It's been proven, and his testimony is still being taken as some sort of actual point, like evidence. He lied. I wouldn't trust anything this guy says. I'd kick him out. I wouldn't even hear his testimony. Or if I would, I'd say, okay, everything that he says, we have to find 2 more people to say it, or we have to find evidence of what he's saying. That's what I do. Now, this stems, again, Fox News could have covered this so differently. They should have put this at the front of their page and covered it they should have covered it as had one article, 1 or 2 articles about just the facts of what's going on, and then had their page covered with op-ed pieces saying how you shouldn't trust this testimony. There's a very clear way to go about this, but no, you have to hide it. You have to hide everything that you say in the background and tell me about stupid articles that I don't care about when this is going on. Okay? And then to just wrap this up, there's a point being made by this Fox News article, and even in conjunction the Bernie article. Okay, Fox News, you are under a microscope 24/7. Okay? Literally, CNN, MSNBC are all, mainstream media is against you at every single turn. And I group you in mainstream media. I think, honestly, you are up there, but again, I digress. Mainstream media is against you at every single turn that you take. Every move that you make is under a microscope being analyzed by everyone else in the media, and then you get called out. Okay? And then, on top of that, you reflect on everyone. Okay? As a conservative, as an outspoken libertarian, I can tell you that I have been called out and asked to justify Fox News mistakes. My very first go-to answer is I don't like Fox News because of stuff like this. Okay? Cover the Michael Cohen testimony. Cover it right. It's not this wasn't a hard story, if you even want to spin it your way. This wasn't a hard story. You could have totally stayed true to the facts, made a great op-ed pieces that no one could refute about how you shouldn't trust this, but no. You have to fill the front page of your app with stupid information that no one cares about. Okay. As libertarians, as conservatives, if anyone that doesn't want extremely large government and restrictions on everything that we have, Fox News, you represent everyone that I just listed. Everyone that falls under that very broad umbrella relies on you to stay true. Not because they like you, because I know that most of the conservatives I know hate Fox News because of this. You have to be better than everyone else because you reflect on the rest of us. Okay? Fox News has to stay true. Same with everyone, okay? As a conservative, as a libertarian, as literally a moderate, because apparently that's not left enough for the left anymore, you have to stay totally, almost spotless and stay educated because you reflect on everyone else. Okay, finishing up, I don't like to finish these topics of interest with something that's, serious, but this is important. Because when I saw the Michael Cohen thing, I freaked out because just the week before I went on a rant about CNN and their coverage of Jussie Smollett, and then you, Fox News, turn around and do the exact same thing. Unbelievable. Okay. Comment in the description below about how you like this video. Again, go back and look. The 2 quotes that I gave, please say which ones you actually think were Lenin and which one was the Bernie supporter, because I really want to know. And it's a quick. I'll put the link in the description for every single article that I used, so you can actually go on the article and find the quote. I'm not going to say it because I do want to see a real guess in the description below. Okay. I'm just gonna. I find it unbelievable that I have to sit here and yell at Fox News for doing something that was so simple that literally every other conservative media pundit would have been able to spin in their favor. Okay. My name is Henry Deshane. I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There will be more like it every single week at least, hopefully more. Thank you.